we will begin to draw in 3D, and for that we're going to open a new drawing, and let's start with a rectangle. So we already know that from a set of points we can create a surface, or from a set of points we can create a line, from a set of lines we can create a surface, and from a set of surfaces we can create a volume. So the first thing we're going to do is create a 2D object with points and lines. So let's click on rectangular shape just to do something simple here. We're going to start from 0, 0, which is a quick practice. So we're going to draw in from the 0, 0 coordinate point. We're going to say 10 by 10. So at this point, I have 10 by 10 for a square that is size 10 by 10, but I want to check what units. So I click on my object and I type F2, and it's going to have units of, we don't know yet, so we have to type DWG, which is drawing units. And right now is set for number 1. So we have inches, therefore the square right here is 10 by 10 inches. If I want to change my drawing units, I can type any number here, 3 or 5 or 6 if it's meters. If I don't want to change anything, I can just hit escape, and I can either close this or move it to a different monitor if you have a different monitor. If you just have one monitor, just close it and you can open it up again by hitting F2. Okay, so we have a square, so we want to make a cube that is 10 by 10 by 10. So in that case, the only thing we have to do is now go to our 3D view, which under isometric, we can do that. So I have X, Y, and Z coordinate, and I'm going to extrude or create a third dimension across the Z axis. So I'm going to go to home, press pull, is the easiest way to extrude, click the object, and let's say 10 inches. So we have a cube that is 10 by 10 by 10. Okay, so if you go back to your F2 will give you all the information of your drawing. So it will tell you that I cancel a bunch of times when I hit delete. If I press delete, it's going to be a cancel. And for instance, if you do something like this, I don't know, you want to exit out of this object, you press delete, or sorry, not delete, but escape. And on escape, you will be able to exit of that option. And that escape of that, when you go to F2, it will show you what you did. So if you save this into a file, which you can export it, it will basically show you the history of your model, which is pretty interesting because you can send this file to somebody as a script, somebody can run it, and it will reproduce your drawing, which is much lighter file than AutoCAD file. Okay, so I'm going to close it then. So if you want to see your 3D body, you can type different, you can use different type of views. And at this point, we can check properties of my 3D part. So like volume is under mesh properties, and it's asking you to select the object. So select the object, enter, and you open it up again. So since we don't have a material chosen, we didn't specify material, then it's gonna say it's 1, density is 1, therefore the mass and the volume are the same. So the one that I care about is the volume, which is 1,000 cubic inches. Moment of inertia. So all these properties are going to be very useful if you're taking statics or dynamics. Sometimes these things are important, or mechanical solids for mechanical engineering. All these things are important, and you can continue asking for more properties. But right now, we just want to learn how to do our 3D model. So this is a basic shape. Say you wanted to no, I don't want to write it. Say you wanted to create another shape. So let's go ahead and do circle, and you can just put it wherever you want. So let's say 25 and 25, and we're gonna give radius of 10 inch. Well, that's pretty big, so let's say 2 inches, and then press pull and 10. So these two objects now are on the same plane, but they're independent objects. Okay. All right. So you can choose, and you can apply the same concepts that we have been working with. So you can move, and you can choose one corner and the center and move it around, or even put it on a different layer, etc. Okay. So let's say I want to edit this part. So I want to create an orifice, and I want to create a column on top. So I can either move that object here, or I can create on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle. Now I want to create an orifice through this phase, and I'm going to create a column as well on top of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to home, and right here I'm going to do a copy edge. So it's asking for selecting the edge. So we're going to select this edge. It's easier if before we do that, so escape and exit, go to our top view. Okay, and we're going to select ortho because we want to create a reference point here. Then from copy edge, you're going to select this edge from the 3D solid. You're going to choose the edge. You're going to copy. So select edge, which is right here. And then enter. We're going to select this point, which is, we're going to select we can choose any point, but this is the easiest way. Selecting the endpoint, and we're going to go inward 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to say copy, so we can do it again. And we're going to select the edge right here. We're going to come from the 3D solid. And then enter. We select the edge, take it from here, go inward, type 2, and then exit. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with the top and bottom edges, so we can have a reference point for the circles. Alright, so we're going to repeat. We're going to do edge. We're going to copy. We're going to do this edge. Enter. We're going to move downwards for 2 inches. And we're going to do it again. So like this edge right here and the 3D solid. And if you wanted to create more copies, you could, but at this point I only need that one, so I press enter. And then I select the point, and I go inwards for 2 inches. Alright, now we have these references where we can draw the circles. So if you go back to your 3D view, you're going to have the drawing on this top plane because you're using these edges as a reference. If you were to draw the lines from the plane, they probably will be drawn on the bottom, which is depending on what you need. Alright, so let's go back to top and let's create a circle that is, let's say 1 inch in diameter, and let's create another circle that is another inch in diameter. Okay. Alright, so we can go back to our view, and we can go to home, press pull, select. If we select any of these portions, we can actually extrude things up and down. Okay. So since I want to extrude the circle, what we need to do is a trim. So just to make sure that we're doing everything correctly, let's go to trim. We're going to choose this circle, the circle, and then enter. Select that line, select this line. Okay, perfect. So let's do the trim again for this part. We're gonna select this circle, enter. And we're gonna delete that line and delete or trim this line. All right, so we're ready to extrude. When we go to our view, we go to press pull, select our object, and we can extrude our portion. So this could be like a Lego block or something. But also, interesting, if you go to press pull as well and select this object and press down or pull down, then you have a cut.